Good
Hello,
evening.
Rabbi.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank God. All right. Can you imagine? I was the first one to come in today. This is a miracle. Definitely a miracle today. Okay. So it looks like we're up to Zion.
Yes, I think we're a little early today.
Zion, which is 7, right? Okay. Do you know the numerical values of the letters?
I know all the way up to probably 80.
Not bad.
So saying is 7.
Right, Zion is 7, yes. Great, fantastic. That's nice. Okay, so let's yeah, it seems like it's only a bit Yosef, this one. Okay, so I guess we'll start, and they'll come in, whatever. Okay, so here we go. So it says, there you are. Okay, just in time. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I think we're doing Zion, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go, right? It says like this. Katava Agur. It says in Agur, Pasak Maharim Molon. It says this rabbi, which is the Maharil, Shesh Devarech Leaniach Bekamatz Tachat Aheh. Oh. Aber lo bepatach. So he says, when you say the word Leaniach, Tefillin, right, the blessing, there's a difference between the kamatz and the patach. Even though they're both the ah sound, ah, right? But they're a little bit different. So there's 2 different versions of this, right? What the difference is. There's the Bukharian version, and then there's the Sephardi version, you know. Bukharian slash Persian. And also the Ashkenazi as well. So I'll tell you what, there's 3 of them, right, actually. So according to the Sephardi custom, the kamatz, which is the half cross, you know, the vowel, kamatz, is according to Sephardi custom, it's an ah sound, ah. And according to the Bukharian custom, Persian, it's like oh, right? And according to the Ashkenazi, it's like oh, like a cholem. It's all sound. So different customs there, but anyway, right? It says that you should do it with a kamatz, not a patach, because the patach, according to everybody, which is like the one single line horizontal, that's called patach. Kamatz is the half cross, right? So the kamatz is different than the patach, as we said, because patach is the real ah, just a plain ah.
Rabbi, what's the difference between the Sephardi kamatz and Sephardi patach?
Right, that's the whole trick, right? What did the Sephardim do there? So the truth is, you know, the Sephardim are divided into 2 categories there, as we said, right? Then there's the Bukharian Persian, you know, which is one, and then there's like the Israeli, you know, whatever, you know, which is like different. So what they do is like, one is called Tunua Gdola, one is called Tunua Ktana. That's the difference between them. You know what that means?
One longer than the other? Like...
Right, one is longer than the other. The patach is shorter.
I see.
So it's hard to really hear the difference, you know, and when you're speaking quickly, it sounds all the same. So that's why practically, like in modern Hebrew, which is it's pronounced the Sephardi way, right? You can't really tell the difference. It's all the same. You know what I mean? Because very similar. They're very similar. But according to
like yesterday,
Persian, yeah, I'm sorry.
the word we were struggling how to say the word midos, middos. The Sephardic said midot.
Midot, right? Yes.
And the Ashkenazi said midos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking, which one is the right way? I think it's midot.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Well, the answer is a little bit complicated, like as usual, but the truth is, that the Taf has two versions, right? Two variations. There's with the dagesh and without dagesh. You know what that means? There's with the dot inside. That's called dagesh, dagush. So that has like a T sound. T. Like Tom, and the one without the dagesh, it has like a TH sound. Like the Spanish, the th. Right? The Spanish have that, no? Like the TH sound.
Very much. That's yes.
I'm sorry?
It's called ceseo.
Oh, ceseo. Oh, I like that. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's what it is. It's exactly what it is. So it really should be midot. But but people, you can't, they're not so careful with these things. So therefore they just say midot, like just, because they speak so fast, there's no time to be so particular.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the story.
So it's not like the Sephardi, it's not like the Ashkenazi, it's somewhere in between.
Yeah, but it's closer to the Sephardi.
Right.
It's like a T or TH,
Got it.
So it's closer to the Sephardi one. But what they're doing, the Ashkenazi in the Samech sound, which is totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Why they do it that way? Because when they went to Europe, they lost their tradition with the pronunciation. They lost it there. So they were just doing like guesswork, just like guessing. And that's why I came up with that. But the Sephardim, the thing is that they were close to Eretz Israel, so they kept the tradition better because they didn't go to Europe, deep into Europe, deep inside. Because over there, the pronunciations they change very much. So
in this case,
the Sephardi pronunciation is the more accurate one. That's what's more accurate, much more accurate than the Ashkenazi. And that's why in Israel today, nobody speaks with an Ashkenazi accent today, because it's just not correct. That's what it is, basically. Okay, so that's the way it is. It's all discussion about that, but we're not going to get into too much now into that. But so as we said, right, that there's a difference between the kamatz and the patach, and also dagesh, right? If you put dagesh there under the hay. So even though there's no really difference in the meaning is the same. But it says anyway, it's proper to bless in accordance to the language of the verses, right? The pronunciation of the Torah. So what does that mean? It should be kamatz. Kimo lehaniach beracha al betecha. So it gives you an example, right, in this pasuk, right? Like that really helps us, right? But anyway, right? So let me just give you a little clue, right? What the difference is. If you say with a patach, it's going to sound like this, okay? And with a dagesh, right? It's going to be like this. Lihaniyach, right? But now, if you say it this way, it's going to be lehaniach. The hay is going to be a little bit longer, right? Or a little bit more oi. It's going to have that oi thing there. And according to the custom of the Bukharians and the Persians, that's pretty much the story, right? So a little bit different. But he's telling you, right, the meaning stays the same. It's just a matter of, being meduyak, being correct, right? That's the idea.
Mhm.
So what does the word lehaniach mean? To place, right? To place a tefillin on your arm, on your head, right? That's what it means. That's what it means. Okay, very good. So that's the story there. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch. Zayin. He says Shulchan Aruch like this. Yivarech lehaniach bekamatz tachat hahed. So it should be right kamatz there under the hay, below bepatach ubedagesh, and not with a patach and dagesh. So again, right, you're going to say lehaniach, right, and not lehaniach, and not like that.
The last syllable is shorter, is faster. So
Right, we're talking actually about the first syllable, right?
Yeah.
Lehaniach
So
or
it should be
lehaniach.
longer. It shouldn't be longer than the last.
So
Not like leaniach. That would be wrong.
well, that's totally wrong, right? But we're saying, right? Is it lehaniach or lehaniach? Right. So the first one is better. Lehaniach. Okay.
Mhm.
Or according to Bukharians, it will be lehaniach. Right. Lehaniach.
I think with the Bukharian, I think the all came from the Ashkenazi. I don't know if you know
The truth
anything
is,
about that.
that you'd be surprised that there is actually a long-standing tradition with that. I don't think it came from the Ashkenazim.
Oh.
Because there is a tradition, and it's written that it's substantiated in the literature.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's a proper tradition, even though it's not the only one, but it is a proper one. Okay, anyway, that's the story with that. Let's go to Het. This is the Shulchan Aruch, but first we'll do the Yosef and everything.
So, Rabbi, in that case, when we see the Baruch Atah and Hashem, the Bukharians say the all everywhere. Is that correct? Even with Hashem's name?
Right, yeah, they should keep doing that because it's a proper tradition. There's no reason to change it. But the truth is, in Israel, they did change it because, everybody's Sephardi there. So, like, if in Israel, if you don't, like, speak Sephardi, you're not a cool guy, you're not cool over there. So, if you want to be cool, you got to sound Sephardi, That's the way it is.
Right.
All the cool people over there speak Sephardi. So, all these, accents from the diaspora, they pretty much fall out over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the story. All right, good. So as we said, right, that let's go to Bet Yosef. There's also two here. Let's see the tour. Right, the last line. You should bless on them at the time where you start to put them, right? Until the time that you actually like tighten it. So the blessing should be before you tighten it. And don't talk between them, right? Between the head and the arm. Let me just see if I can improve the internet here a little bit. One second. Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, so it says, right, that don't talk between them, between the arm and the head. Even to answer Amen Yeshlema, to answer to Kaddish, right? Right, Mevarach, Kedusha, and also Kedusha, don't answer. Says if he talked, it's considered to be a sin. But then you have to bless again, right? As we already explained. According to the Rosh, you need 2 more brachot. According to the Rif, you need 1 more bracha, as we already explained last time. So, okay. By the way, I want to just point out that, like yesterday, what we learned in the Big Yosef regarding the issue of the Zohar and all that stuff, that was a very important piece, because from there you learn a lot about what the difference is between the Zohar and the Halakha. There's a lot of interesting points there to understand. So it's an important one. But also, like, one basic thing you learn there, which is very important, is that Maran says very clearly, when there's a machloket between the Zohar and the Halakha, the Talmud, we go like the Talmud. That's what he says. So that's a rule. That's, it's also brought down in many of the poskim. But Maran Bet Yosef, he himself says that as well.
Rabbi, but you said yesterday, like, it wasn't taken that Rabbi Rashba's opinion there by the Rosh, because I mean,
we don't really know. That's the thing.
Okay.
We don't really know, but what we know one thing for sure, right? Look what it says, man. It says something very important there, that he says that even though the Rabbi Shimon said what he said, nevertheless, the rabbis of the Talmud did not agree with that. That wasn't their conclusion, So therefore, we go like the Talmud. That's sort of a chidush, Why? Because Rabbi Shimon is a Tana, and nevertheless, we still don't go like him. That's quite a That's quite a big chidush there.
Mm-hmm. But even though
you may have thought to say, we should go like Rabbi Shimon. He's a Tana, So why should we go like the Amoraim of the Talmud? Maran says no. The Amoraim, they already considered that, but they rejected it. So that's why we don't paskin like that. I mean, in this case, anyway, it doesn't really matter. Why? Because we Sfardim, we go like the Zohar anyway, right? But I'm saying, in general, right? That's he's telling you a general rule there.
Oh, so even though the Talmud is against it, we go by this by the
Talmud is a big machloket, right? It's between the Amoraim there about this.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the Rishonim paskin like what we do, but nevertheless, what he's saying is right. Maran is that Talmud is a Talmud. That's so according to the Ashkenazim, who say you need 2 brachot, right? How do they get away with saying that against Rabbi Shimon? So the answer is because the Talmud is the Talmud. They didn't decide like Rabbi Shimon.
Mm-hmm.
See from there, right? The Talmud is the Ikar. By the way, why is the Talmud the Ikar and not the Zohar? What's the reason why? Because the Talmud was accepted by the Jewish people to be the halakha.
Mm-hmm.
It was accepted. That's all there is. Even though we have the Yerushalmi, Talmud Yerushalmi, Talmud Bavli. Talmud Bavli was accepted to be halakha against Yerushalmi, against the Zohar, and against everything else. All the Midrashim, right? The Talmud Bavli is number one in halakha.
How then, Rabbi, how do we accept it then, if that specific ruling of the Zohar then?
I'm sorry?
How do we then, the Sephardi, how do we accept?
Because there's also opinion like that in the Talmud.
Uh-huh,
Understand?
I see. If there was no opinion in Talmud, we would reject it.
We would probably go like the Talmud. Yeah, that will be the story. All right, that's interesting. But anyway, right? Okay, just wanted to point that out because it's a very important stuff. Also, another thing you see, by the way, which we learned yesterday, which I wanted to stress also, that how much Maran respects and praises the Zohar, which is against those deniers, right? Who claim that it's a fake and all that stuff. Most people don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry to tell you, but if Maran Bet Yosef says that Zohar is a very holy book, so holy, how can these people come and how they have the chutzpah, to say these things? They're so ridiculous. I mean, what can I tell you? Okay, that's the story. But anyway, as we go on, right? Let's go on. So it says, even to Amen, we already said this. So then it says, okay, that's probably something else, right? So let's look at it at Yosef. Let's see Bet Yosef. So he says he blesses at the time that he starts to place them. So says Maran, Sham, it's over there in the Gemara, Lamed Hamud Bet. Amar Rav Huna, Tefillin me'matay mevarech alein. It says right in the Talmud, when do you bless on the Tefillin? Mishat anachatam, when you place them, when you put them. Ve'asikna dehachi kamar, and the conclusion is like this: Mishat hanachat ad shat keshira. That means from the time you put it until the time you tie it. So before you tie it. So Rashi explains the Chevan even since he didn't tie it yet, he didn't tighten it yet. Over b'asyatan, it's considered to be like doing it before the mitzvah, which is the proper way. Ve'arosh tkatav, says the Rosh, mishat hanachatan perush. He says the perush is like this: mishatchila nicham ad she'dekam b'zoro. Same thing. When he puts them until he tightens it. In order that it should be before the mitzvah. Rabbi Yonah, also Rabbi Yonah, Perek Tfilat HaShachar, all there. Gabe Tfilat HaDerech, also regarding Tfilat HaDerech. Okay. Rambam Katav Bechol HaMitzvot Kulan Mevarech Alein Over LaSatan. Right, this is the famous Rambam. So says the Rambam, every mitzvah you got to do. Right, the blessing before the mitzvah, which includes candlelighting, by the way, right? Against those ladies who do the other way. Okay, so the Fichach says, therefore, you have to bless on the tefillin of the arm. Once you place it on the muscle, on your bicep, before you tie it. Right, Zohi Asyatan. This is how you do it. Adkan, that's the way, okay. And so it says you can learn from this what? Hechi kama de mishum de mikol mitzvot mevarech alein. Because all the mitzvot you bless on them over the satan before the mitzvah. Lefichach tzarich levarech achar anachat adarabba. Then you have to place it. You have to bless after the placing it. It says adarabba. On the contrary, imavarech kodem anacha have mevarech tefei kodem satan. If he would bless before he places it, that would be even better, right? According to that, it would be before you do it. So then, why does he tell you to wait till before you tie it? So the answer is so you know what he's saying, right? That we need that he should bless before he makes them, right? The samuch, right away, like right at that second. So making the tefillin means you tie it. So therefore, it's better to do before you tie it. So when you bless after placing it, the kodem kishira, and before the tying it, it's going to be good before. It's going to be considered before you make it. אבל לא יברך קודם הנחה. Right, so it says, but don't bless before the placing it. Mishum dehave le kodem kodem, because that's considered to be like way before, like not a little before. It's like way before. Too far off.
Mhm.
Right, that's what he's saying. The odd yesh lomar says also there is to say shemash katav lefichach tzarich levarech hakodem k'shiratam. That what he said, right? That you have to bless before you tie them. It's talking about that, but lo achar hanacha, and not after the placing. Lo atar yashbunan ela. It's coming to teach you like just this. The lo nema hanachatam zohi asyatan. You shouldn't say that placing it is making it. It's not true. But tzarich levarech kodem hanacha. So therefore you have to bless before placing it. Teleta. This is not true. Ela keshiratan zohi asyatan. Making the tefillin is talking about tying the tefillin. Right? Therefore he says, you can bless before you tie it. And even though it's before placing it, I'm sorry, it's after placing it. And that what you said that you have to bless, he means to say like this. Therefore he says, before you tie it, that's what you have to bless. He shouldn't be blessing after he does it, after he makes it. This says, if you want to bless before you place it, before the mitzvah is handy in front of him, to do it. You can do, according to this, you can do it. That which we learned in the Braita. When does he bless on them? From the time that he places it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't bless before that. Rather, it means to tell you, even after placing it, you can bless. That's what it means to say. The Shapir Chashiv Ober al Satan still considered to be before the mitzvah. The Afshar says, Zeh Hayat Dat Rabbeinu Yerucham. It could be that this also the opinion of Rabbeinu Yerucham. That he writes like this: he says, you bless on them before you place them. That means you're doing before the mitzvah. According to Rosh, in the Ran, in this parak over here in Sukkah, it seems like the way we wrote at the beginning. You cannot bless before you place it. So he said that's the proper thing to do. So conclusion of Bet Yosef is that you should bless not before placing it, after placing it, and before tying it. This is the best way to do it. Okay, very good. Let's see Shulchan Aruch. So it says Shulchan Aruch, Kol ha-mitzvot mevarech aleim over asyatam. Right, again, right, same thing. All the mitzvot, the bracha comes first. Right, so קודם יעבור דרך שלושים, לפיכך צריך לברך על התפילה של יד. So therefore he says you have to bless on the tefillin of the hand, אחר הנחה, after you place it, על הקיבורת, on the muscle, on the bicep, קודם קשירתם, before you tie it. שקשירתה זוהי עשייתה, because when you tie it, that's when you make it. So says the Rama, לכן בשל ראש, same thing this is with the Rosh as well. קודם שמעדכן בראשו. Before you tighten it on your head, that's when you got to bless. According to them, that they also bless on the head. We don't bless on the head, as we said, right? Okay, that's the story. That's the story. Okay, very good. That's Chet. Let's go to Tet. Right. Yes, the truth is we did the tour over here, this one. So I'm going to do Bet Yosef. So he says you're not allowed to talk in between the two tefillin. Gam Zeh Sham, it's also over there. He says Tana. It says in Tana says Sach ben tefillah letefillah avera yado. Says the Gemara, if you talk between one tefillin and the other, you got a sin on your hands. Look what he says, incredible, right? That it's such a big sin, this thing. If a person did this by mistake even, right? What does he do? If they have to go out to war that day, the Jews, to fight a war, he shouldn't go. Why? Because he has a sin, he may die. They may kill him in the war. So that's what he's saying. So you see from there, right? When a person dies in war, it's because of his sins. Shem Yirachem. So that's why when you go out to war and you don't have any sins, you can do much better. That's the story.
Let's not go to any wars.
Well, don't tell them in Israel that one. Otherwise, they're gonna have a hard time. Okay, so all right. So as we said, right, that חוזר אליה מערך מלחמה, פירש רש"י, סח בין תפילה לתפילה, ולא ברך על של ראש. Right, so he says that if he spoke between one tefillah and the other, and he didn't bless on the head, אלא סמך על הברכה הראשונה, he relied on the first blessing, וכתבו התוספות, says תוספות, מתוך פירושו, you see from his פירוש, the Rashi, משמע דאם סח וברך בשערי. So he says, you see from there that if he did talk, but then he blessed on the second one as well, right? It's okay. But there's no prohibition. But he says, on the contrary, mitzvah v'sachar bracha, it could be mitzvah even considered. Why? Because you're doing an extra blessing. Then can that kol poskim, but he says all poskim don't agree with this. Right? So don't be too quick to rely on that one. אלא שבכל עניין אסור לברך, לדבר. So in any case, it's not allowed to talk over there. No matter what. No matter if you bless again or you don't bless again, doesn't make any difference. אפילו חוזר ומברך, even if he comes and blesses again. Okay, let's see a bit Shulchan Aruch.
There's a question, why not blessing on the head? And that's because you bless on the arm, correct? You do the blessing first.
Right, it goes on both of them, right? According to the Sephardi custom.
That's a part.
Yes, goes on both of them. Okay, good. So let's get to Shulchan Aruch. So it says, "Mash katav Rabbeinu afilu la'anot amen." That what Shulchan Aruch said, that even to answer amen. I'm sorry, no. I gotta do Shulchan Aruch. This is not Shulchan Aruch. So it says, "Asur le'afsik bedibur ben tefillah yad shel tefillah shel rosh." You're not allowed to interrupt with speech between one tefillin and the other. Don't talk. So it says, "Ve'im yifsik," and if he did interrupt, mevarech al shel rosh, you have to bless on the rosh, on the head. What's the blessing? Al mitzvah tefillin, right? That's what you bless. It says the Rama, Haga, Udidan, Nogin, the Berech Brachot. So it says by us, by the Ashkenazim, that we do two blessings anyway. Even though we didn't interrupt, and you got to do on the head. If you interrupted, you got to do on the head. You have to do two blessings, le'aniach and also mitzvot, al mitzvot. As we said in the Rosh, right? This is the Shita of the Rosh, and also Rabbeinu Tam. So the Ashkenazim go like them, right? That's the idea. Okay, beautiful. Very nice. Now we're going to go to Yud. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. And that it says, "Mash katav Rabbeinu afilu la'anot amen yesh lemar haba mevorach kedusha." That which Rabbeinu said, you're not even allowed to answer kaddish and kedusha. in between the tefillin. Ken katav arosh. That's what the Rosh says. Zal, right? Katav od. He writes further. ובהלכות תפילין, עתיקתא כתוב בסך בין תפילה.